I asked all of my viewers to send in their craziest setups. So in today's video, we're going to be rating them. All right, so for our first setup, we got my boy Wyatt. Now, first impressions of this setup, I actually really like the aesthetic of this. I really like the white and black theme that's going on. You can see he tried really hard to match everything on his desk. I also really like the cable management. You can't see any cables down here whatsoever. He said he's got a 60% mechanical keyboard and a 60 hertz monitor. Honestly, I don't have a lot to critique about this setup except for it's kind of like minimalistic. He definitely has room to expand if he moves this like dresser over right here. But yeah, it looks like he mainly games on his PS5 right here, and he definitely has more room to add like another monitor too. But overall, I think this is a pretty good setup and a good setup to start out the video, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. All right, moving on to our second setup, we have a submission from Anthony M. I gotta say, I'm really liking this setup. I really like the whole aesthetic that he's going for, kind of like this pink greenish vibe right here. He's got a dual monitor layout, and he's also got one of these LED clocks right here. I actually really want to pick one of these up, so I'll probably pick that up in a future video. I'm not too sure what that mic is, but it looks pretty cool. I really like the LEDs in his setup. He's got maybe some backlights right here, and then his PC RGB looks really cool too. I also really like that keyboard that he has. I think that's a G Pro wireless that he's rocking for his mouse. I guess maybe one suggestion I would have is like changing out your mouse pad. You got kind of like this pink green reddish vibe up here, and then you kind of have like this black whitish vibe down here. So maybe just switch this up to fit the whole aesthetic of the setup. But other than that, this is really clean, so I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 out of 10. All right, next up we got Sayfan's setup. Again, we have another dual monitor layout right here. It looks like he's got his PC, his PS5, and his Switch hooked up to these monitors. For his peripherals, I think that's a Logitech webcam up there. That could maybe be like a Razer keyboard right there, and I think that's a G502 mouse. It looks like a pre-built PC. I'm not too sure what this brand is. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty clean setup. One suggestion that I might have is getting a new desk. It just seems like everything's kind of crammed. In my last setup, my desk was really crammed, so I can kind of feel how this desk is. Then again, I don't think you have much room to expand because you're kind of in this corner right here. So maybe try to move your desk to a different part of the room, but I'm not sure what your like circumstances. But yeah, I would suggest maybe just picking up like an L white desk to just go with the rest of the setup. You can get one on IKEA for like super cheap, so maybe look into that. And then another suggestion I have is maybe moving this keyboard and this mouse up. I'm not a fan of having like your keyboard and mouse underneath like the rest of your setup, but that's kind of just a preference thing, so whatever you think is comfortable, just go with that. But overall, I think it's a pretty clean setup. I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. All right, for our fourth submission, we have Baytuber. All right, so it looks like he's gaming on an Xbox Series S, and it's hooked up to his TV. Honestly, I don't know how he's supposed to use his mouse right here if his Xbox is right next to it. So maybe try to move this Xbox like to a different spot. He said he's got a random mouse pad and a random keyboard, and he's also got a Sony Bravia TV, and then he's also got a Turtle Beach headset. Honestly, some suggestions I have for this setup would probably just be to make more space. That's a common theme I see in a lot of these setups, is they're just super cluttered. I got my brand new desk off of IKEA for about $100, and it's like a 78-inch desktop, so I can spread out all my stuff, and I have so much room on my desk. So yeah, I would suggest getting maybe a new desk for your setup. But other than that, I kind of like the vibe of this. You got this little lamp right here, and yeah, overall I think the setup just gets the job done, so I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. Also, I just realized that he subscribed, so thank you, bro. All right, guys, so next up we have Peely Plays. All right, so my immediate first impression is your cables are really messy. I would suggest definitely managing these cables because they're just like all over the floor. It also looks like he's gaming on an Xbox Series S too, and it looks like he's just hooked up to a single monitor right here, and he's got his keyboard and mouse right underneath it. I gotta say, I really like this shelf right here with all these decorations. That turned out super cool. The man's got a WWE belt and then a big thing of pop figures right here. I really like the personality on this setup a lot. As far as tips for the actual setup though, I'm not sure what this ring light is for. I guess it's kind of just for like a lamp, just to add more light to the room. But yeah, I would suggest in maybe getting a new monitor. This monitor seems very small, so maybe just try to invest in a new monitor. And also this chair, I'm not sure really what this is, but I would suggest getting a new chair too. It honestly just kind of looks like one of those camping chairs right here. So yeah, I really like the personality in this setup, but there's definitely a lot of work to do. I'm gonna give this setup like a 5 out of 10. All right, next up we got my boy Vaughn with a heater of a setup. I really like his whole layout right here. I'm a big fan of these 3D art panels, and I definitely have to pick some up for myself soon. As far as his PC, I've watched some of his videos, and his PC is actually stacked. I'm also a really big fan of this monitor layout. I've never really tried having stacked monitors, but I might have to try it actually. I also really like this keyboard and this mouse right here. I think those are super clean. He's also got his MacBook right here, and then he's also got his microphone coming out from the back of his monitors. I believe that's a Blue Yeti Compass boom arm. And for his webcam right here, I'm not really sure what that is. That might be a Canon. I'm not really sure why he has a shotgun mic attached to it if he has his microphone right here, but I don't know. He might have just not taken it off. As far as tips for this setup, I'm not really a big fan of this mouse pad, to be honest. It kind of just takes up the whole desk and you can't really see any of the tabletop at all. So maybe just try to get like a smaller mouse pad from Gutsy Aiden or something. I think like a white and black themed mouse pad would go really well with this setup. I would also suggest maybe like replacing your boom arm. It seems kind of awkward if you're trying to move your mic like over to the right. It might be hard to. I don't know. I've never tried this layout before, so it might work for you. I'm not sure. But overall, I think this setup is really, really good. This might be the top setup of the video. I'm going to give it like a 9 out of 10. All right, so as far as his PC, he sent a bunch of PC specs, so I'll put those up on the screen. Overall, it's a pretty good PC. It's definitely better than mine. Moving on, we can see his mouse and keyboard. He has an Epo Maker keyboard, which I also have. And then he's also got a mouse from a random keyboard bundle. I would say upgrade it, but really, I really don't care about mice that much. As long as it's not too small, I don't really have a problem with any mice. So really, there's no need to upgrade this. I'm also a big fan of his mouse pad that he has, his Rick and Morty mouse pad back here. It really gives a lot of personality to the setup. And then he's also got a dual monitor layout. Also, bro, why are you not subscribed? Vaughn, if you're watching this, subscribe right now. Anyway, I am really liking this setup. I think one suggestion that I would have is maybe adding some stuff on the back wall. It's just kind of basic right now and it's kind of taking away from the RGB of the setup. I would suggest maybe investing in some RGB strips to go on the back, or even like some 3D art panels like Vaughn had in his setup. I think this is just going to make the whole background of it really pop. And other than that, I can't really see the cable management at all, so I can't really give advice on that. You also have a white quadcast mic, which I really like the look of. The boom arm looks a little awkward though, so I might recommend moving that. Like if you try to move that at all, it's just going to hit the monitor. But other than that, I think it's a pretty clean setup. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. And for our last setup, we have Surreal Elf. I gotta say, I'm already super impressed with this setup. The PC looks absolutely insane. He said he's got a 4070 Ti, which is absolutely crazy. I'm also a big fan of this case. I forgot what the name of the case was, but I really want to pick that one up. He's also got some random stuff on top of the PC. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's like a ring light right there. But yeah, I'm also a big fan of this monitor setup right here. Again, the stacked monitors is really nice, and I might have to end up doing that soon. He's also got an Apex Pro TKL keyboard, which I really like. Can't tell what his mouse is, but it looks pretty good. And again, he also has the white quadcast mic right here. Honestly, this setup is really good. One tip I would have is just like maybe like paint over this wall back here. The whole setup is really, really clean, but the whole background just kind of takes away from it. Like you have this clean white and black setup, and then you just have like this orange and gray background. I would also suggest getting like a new desk so your PC can actually fit. It looks like you have a absolute beast of a PC, and it's kind of just takes it away if you can't even show it off. So yeah, I would suggest maybe just getting a new desk so you can set your PC up so people can see it, and then maybe just painting over this wall back here just like straight white. But yeah, this is a really clean setup, and I really like the look of this. So I think I'm gonna give this like an 8 out of 10. All right, that is gonna wrap it up for the setups. I was actually really shocked how nice they were. You guys got some really clean setups. But yeah, guys, if you want to be featured in a video like this in the future, make sure to go in the description and join my Discord server. You can go ahead and go into the gaming setups tab and send in your submission. Also, if you did like today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're on the way to 3K right now, so let's try to get there before March. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.